Hey guys, welcome to the Nerd Word. I'm Landis.
I'm Brittany.
Grandpa.
Mitchie.
Matan.
We are going to talk about Agent Carter. When we started off the episode, now they kind of read your brain because you said it was boring, and they started off with an action scene right off the bat.
Right, I remember thinking that, like, hey, at least there's action, but then like the action stopped, and then it was back to being shit again.
Dottie, which we think
Crazy
is
legs.
Carter.
I actually didn't. From
Really?
the first second, I was like, that does not look like Haley Atwell's hair.
It was the walk. Carter's walk is not that stiff, that stern. Like
They
that
have
walk
a very
is
different
very
gait.
dominant.
And also, Peggy Carter's not going to wear the same outfit twice. She is a classy lady with a fabulous wardrobe.
I think they improved on the action, the fight sequence. I loved it. And I like that there is her nemesis, but they're equal. Like, when the guys come in, even Dottie is like, look, you're no match.
You're not Peggy.
You're not Peggy.
Peggy knows.
But what I liked about that was that you can tell that, like, he sent Peggy off because Dottie wanted to be interrogated by Peggy.
Yeah.
Like, that's what she was going after. And then, you know, Thompson goes in there and he's like, nope, you don't get Peggy. And
But then
Dottie's
she
kind of like,
his ass.
There's a 100% chance that she kicked the FBI agent's ass, or the FBI director or whatever is Hydra.
With Dottie, if I'm a badass, I would be insulted that you took her, who I respect, and you came in here.
because I always think that, like, the FBI agent, the way that he's kind of talking to Thompson, and, like, I feel like this is going to be the way that the New York office gets dissolved. He's kind of like, the SSR is not really relevant anymore, so if you want to do something meaningful, this is going to kind of be the way that, like, the New York office gets shut down and, like, the LA one really gets going.
I kind of feel like the FBI director agent person is part of Hydra, because that conversation was very like, oh, you need to be in the right organization so you matter. I feel like he's gonna get pulled into Leviathan/Hydra.
If that's the case, then instead of it getting dissolved, what might happen is they'll start kind of turning a lot of the SSR agents into Hydra, and this is how Hydra begins in S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
Because we know
exactly.
Hydra's been a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. since the beginning. So this could be like planting the seeds to get certain agents to be on Hydra's side while within S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
You're positing that Thompson is going to be turned toward Hydra. I think that's going to be a tough sell. Well, yeah, he is kind of a dick. He's very much the dutiful, you know.
Well,
But a lot of Hydra is about, like, a lot of them kind of join in not really knowing what it is. It's sold to people as this very, like, idealistic, like, we're gonna change the world.
The reason I was thinking that specifically was that speech between the FBI director and Thompson, because the FBI director said, SSR is dissolving. Do you want to be important? Thompson goes, yeah, I want to be that. The bad guy in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He specifically says,
We've been around for
Hydra
centuries.
has been around for centuries, and we've been
And
considered
it's
different
evolved every
entities,
time.
and it's evolved every time.
When he ran all those programs, he's the one that helped start the
So
Pathfinder
that-
program.
that
and he's
being
the one
said,
that did all this.
exactly.
It was government money. It was a government program.
And on top of that, the little pin that Dottie was after
Pathfinder.
is Pathfinder.
It's a Path-
When you're looking at all of it, the papers even show, 1200 AD, 1800 AD. So it's been in existence for a very long time.
The Pathfinder logo, which is the one that we're seeing on the lapel, was for that era. My only concern is this takes place after Captain America the First Avenger, where we already had Hydra. I assumed that all of those logos were kind of like predated that era, but now it's kind of like, well, we had Hydra, now we have the Pathfinder logo.
No, because, I mean, Captain America, what Red Skull did was discover this Hydra thing, and he built his version of Nazi. It wasn't the real Hydra. They even mentioned it in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, you're not the real Hydra. What Red Skull did was basically discover the symbol and took the ideology of it and made his own thing. In the second episode of this, we were introduced to the group of the white guys. They already established, we caused the depression. So they control
Right.
world
and
events.
that symbol's up
Yeah.
on top of the
But
throne.
they could have actually helped Hitler. They could have actually
grab
helped
the
the Red Skull. Kind of
Yeah.
assume that they have their hands on world events and kind of control this fucking whitey man. One
Well,
thing that
it's
Matan
not-
said is that you were right. We are getting into seeing the personal lives of Peggy and the personal lives of everyone.
I love Jarvis's wife.
Who doesn't?
I think she's
That is-
adorable. She's the complete opposite of him.
Peggy-
I like her.
They are perfect together.
They both? No,
No,
I
they are
know.
not.
They are
Okay, I know
perfect.
that.
They're not.
Peggy and Jarvis have
Women
a
are stupid.
platonic
Okay.
No.
respect.
Did you see
And
the
admiration.
jousting scene,
The
though?
judo scene.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was adorable.
they're not gonna do
Specifically.
anything.
Now we see that Peggy runs into African American black man, a scientist in the 40s.
In Los Angeles in the 40s.
Well, we find out later they picked him because they were going to murder
Yeah.
everybody that worked on
Exactly.
it.
So we get there, and we finally, now to your point, we get
Zero
Zero Matter.
Matter.
That was created
Zero Matter.
from a bomb testing that they did, and to me it looked like a black hole. They created a black hole that resulted into whatever the fuck this is.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why didn't the camera filming this get sucked into the black hole? It didn't get lifted, it didn't get sucked in, it just perfectly captured
Did it
everything
not?
that happened.
I fucking told you, assholes, it's a portal. They get sucked into somewhere.
They made a black hole and they cracked something in like dimension.
Right.
They cracked a dimension.
Right,
Something
and then he goes, oh, but what's crazy is what's left over, and I'm like, if it's Grant Ward, I'm gonna cry.
You were thinking it was the monolith. We saw in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that predates the 1800s.
Yeah, but the material itself could be something that they made. Like, so it's an alien technology that is that kind of material. We just managed to make it also.
And S.H.I.E.L.D. we saw they had tons of those things. Like, it doesn't only exist once.
Yeah,
And-
you can clearly chip away at it. There's
and-
more missing.
Another thing that it could be, they've been trying to bring back death forever. So maybe they had a monolith and kind of knew what the element was, and they weren't really trying to make an atomic bomb. This whole time, they maybe have been trying to make another monolith.
I think that they stumbled on zero matter. I think zero matter was like Chadwick was like a weapons development thing,
Yeah, I
right?
think-
And then
no,
so
I-
they
yeah.
were just kind of, it just kind of happened.
I think they
and then
generally were
Chadwick
making a
is like-
weapon. Yeah.
Chadwick is like, you don't understand this has potential, and as somebody that's part of an organization that may or may not understand what the monolith is or what it might do, like you have this thing that just sucked something somewhere else. Like where else have you ever seen that? Either nowhere or with the monolith.
I don't know. I believe it's something separate because one, the Whiteys were all about money and it wasn't making them money, and two, they weren't trying to make a weapon originally.
What I do want to say though, it seems like the romance stuff has been a little bit forced in a way that I was kind of disappointed, because normally I'm all about that kind of stuff. I'm always looking for like little nuanced romantic things. The degree to which Peggy clearly has feelings for Sousa, I felt like bloomed very suddenly. Because at the end of the season, she was like, maybe another time. Now suddenly, it's like really affecting her that he's got a girlfriend.
Yeah, I thought that felt forced.
Yeah.
too. I don't need it, you know? I can do without it. Like, it
And I
was-
love Susan's girlfriend. I think she's adorable.
She's a spy.
Oh,
she's
she's
a
probably
Russian
bad.
spy.
I feel like she's some sort
But
of
it's
spy.
fine because she's cute.
I would agree that it was the relationship stuff was just weird.
The director yelling at the actress for being fat even though she wasn't fat and old. How do you feel about that?
Oh, that was great. Can we light her and make her not look so goddamn old? And right in front of her face. That was rather satisfying moment for me. I like how they play with that stuff, like the un-PC, the opposite.
It is the
of
era
PC
though, but that's the era.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
I
very
like how they're
accurate.
having fun with that. Thank God somebody is, because, yeah, people used to be sexist, you know what I mean? And it's just by commenting on the fact doesn't mean that we're endorsing it or prolonging it, and the things are not advancing, you know what I mean?
No,
But
you
to
did
keep
like
it
the
accurate.
diner scene, when he was, hey, no, I'm talking to you, not him.
That was the only moment which I actually liked that character, the
black guy?
the
The
lab
black guy?
technician,
Mine
Yeah.
too.
where he said, well, what are you going to do? Fight with all of Los Angeles? You know, and he's eating the eclair casually, and she's steamed, right?
I had kind of two gripes. He just felt really weird to me though, as a character. Like
I
the
think
character,
he's meant to be kind of nerdy. Like
I don't
kind of,
think so.
like,
I think
weird.
something's up with
He's
him.
a physicist. Of course he's weird.
I think something's up with him. I think we're going to see him again. I feel like he's maybe some sort of bad guy, or he's going to become a bad guy, or something. Something's just weird.
He's like the Gemma Simmons of this era, because when he was talking about the zero matter and what happened, he got so like giddy and excited, and I
Yeah.
was like, that's such a Simmons thing
That's
to do.
what
Like,
I'm saying. He's
this
such
is
a nerd.
this
He's
is a
just
devastating disease that could wipe out all of humanity, and she gets really giddy about it because it's like scientific and weird, and she
Yeah.
just loves that shit. And I was like, you're
Well, and
Simmons.
that's what he's like. It
4
has
years
so much
earlier.
potential. It's like it's amazing. It's also very destructive,
He's
but
like-
it's amazing.
So I'm excited for the show. I'm excited where it's going to go. As long as they don't make the black guy lash, I'm happy. What do you think?
I'm hoping it just gets more interesting. Like they start giving us more per episode. My problem is like that the development is really slow, and for a miniseries, you kind of think they throw more at you. Like I'm expecting
No,
more.
no.
I want to know who the hell the bad guy is. Like I mean, we know we're gonna have Hydra. I'm kind of bored of Hydra.
Oh, you're telling me. I would love it if this didn't in any way segue into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but apparently
going to.
it
It's the
has
same
to.
universe.
That's the point. What I really liked about the first season was that it stayed clear of all that stuff, and there was no zero matter, which I was like perfectly fine with, and it was mostly about the character relationships within the world. And we're getting that, a little bit of that, but I thought it was off to a little bit of a rocky start. I think it'll get better as it goes along. Hopefully they can maintain the world of Agent Carter and not become Agent S.H.I.E.L.D.
I do think that it kind of started off a little wobbly, like it didn't have the same feeling that I got from season 1, but then again, with season 1 it took me a few episodes before I was like really into it. So I'm kind of hoping it'll be the same situation with this, and after we get a couple episodes in and we get a clearer idea of what the seasonal arc is, I think it'll kind of get that feeling back. As much as I think it's going to lead into Pathfinder and Hydra just based on that symbol, I mean, we looked at it, it's like exactly, like the cutouts are the same and the look is the same. As much as I think that's gonna happen, I really hope it doesn't, just because Hydra's really not that intimidating. It's really just a bunch of like money-hungry, power-hungry idiots that are like unsuccessfully trying to take over the world. It's not this like overbearing institution that you're scared of and you're terrified of. Like, I feel like Leviathan was terrifying, and I feel like the Russian spies are terrifying, more so than Hydra is. Like, I don't get fear from Hydra. We know based on the history, everybody assumes Hydra was defeated in the war. That was the end of Hydra, and we don't see them again until the big reveal.
Yeah, reveal.
I feel like it would be weird for Hydra to kind of come out of the woodwork again, because historically that's not what happens.
Yeah.
Like, Hydra was completely underground and within the ranks of S.H.I.E.L.D. from the beginning without anybody knowing. So it would be kind of weird if, like, we find out that this is Hydra, because that would kind of rewrite history a little bit.
And that's again where I would believe that that's what Leviathan is. If Carter thinks that this is Leviathan, and she takes them down, but there's still this other couple of sects of them, which are actually Hydra, that's where you're going to see that continuation. And that's why I think the FBI director is part of this, which you won't see until either the finale of season 2 or 3 or however many seasons that are going to end up doing with Carter.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to forget about that moment.
We're
they
supposed to
put it there for us, but then we're supposed to forget
because we're focusing on this committee.
Well, could it be like Leviathan is like a program similar to Pathfinder, where it's like a Hydra program,
Exactly.
but it's
That's
not
exactly
Hydra. It's Hydra, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not, you know, we
And
don't know that
that's
it is. And
why I'm thinking that. We're supposed to think that it's not Hydra. Hydra's done for up until Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
You're sucking all the joy out of this for me. You're too knowledgeable for your own good about this.
Right.
I like to be somewhat ignorant so I can at least be genuinely surprised by the end of this.
I do really like it. I thought that there wasn't enough Jarvis. I do like Jarvis's wife, Anna, and I am excited to see where these personal stories go.
Leave us your comments, likes, dislikes, subscribe. Watch our sketch comedy on Wednesdays. Watch us on the weekly headlines. I'm Landis.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Grandpa.
Mitchie.
Matan.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Ready? We did
I don't
it.
think we did it.
We
The
get
first
it.
two
You
episodes.
love it.
It was really
We
good.
get it, you don't.
I'm like super
Exactly.
uninterested in women. They're so annoying. She met him twice, and he showed her a cool video. If that is what love is, for fuck's sake, we've all been in it.
Can we
Shit.
focus on one sexual fantasy at a time?
I missed that part.
Yeah, you weren't really paying attention.
Yeah, you weren't
I
paying
hate
attention,
this
yeah.
show so much.
Can we give credit where credit is due about the Derby?
The Brown Derby was prominently displayed when they got to
Beautiful.
Los Angeles.
All of us had stupid face on our
And nobody knew
Yep.
what
No
the
one
Brown
knew.
Derby was.
Right.
Score 1 for Grandpa.
They made me stop talking to pay attention to the show when that part came on, and I was like,
I was kind of hoping she'd at least get smacked in the face with a stick. I'm getting tired of her kicking people's guns out of their hands. It's rude and disrespectful.
I
Oh,
really
they're out.
should pay attention more to the dialogue in the show. 'Cause
Or the show at
Or
all.
just the
Oh,
show
show
in
at all.
general. That's true.
Please fight him right now.
I just,
What? No.
On
No.
camera.
I forgot to ask you the usual question. How many Werthers are you giving this?
because of the inclusion of the Brown Derby, it got 2 Werther's Originals and 1 Chocolate Reason, please, Mrs. Stork.
And I do have to say that my favorite part is there's no Agent Ward.